when we get started in just a couple of minutes. We're almost
Yeah,
ready to
not
go.
even.
We can start right on
1 minute.
time.
Okay, look at that. Great.
Let's see who's here. Hi,
Awesome. Hi,
Melissa,
Janet.
Janet, Denise. Great, thanks.
Okay, great. Now, somebody did raise their hand, and I'm feeling like we've not participated in allowing them to tell us what they needed. But here's the thing. Anybody can put a Q&A. There's the Q. Hi, ladies. I see you and hear you. Awesome. Thank you, Pauline. And what we'll do is, you can chat. You can put in the Q&A. Let us know you're here. Say hello. We've got people coming on.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. It's so good to see you all. Yes, I love when you put your chats in there and I can see your names and see that you're here as well. I miss you so much. I miss us not getting together live in person like you wouldn't believe. So this is the next best thing that we can do. And today we've got the absolutely fantastically amazing Allison Graham. You're going to love her if you've never met her before. She is a gem when it comes to just being a human being. This woman is so generous and gracious and helpful and wanting to help. And we're going to get started now. Let me give you a very personal introduction, Allison, from my experience of you, so everybody gets to know you a little bit better. I met Allison just before we went into that first week of lockdown. So I don't know, somewhere in the second week of March, I think it was. And I knew that it was going to be really hard for people to do business. I could see it coming. It was going to be hard to do business if people weren't online. So I reached out to some associates and said, who do you know who can help people get their business online? And it was Carol Schulte. Thank you very much, Carol, for introducing me to Allison. And when I talked with Allison, she saw it coming as well. And she said, I can teach people how to get their online courses on online fast, like in days, on a tight budget. It won't cost them a lot of money and they don't need expensive technology people. And I'm like, this is it. This is perfect. This is what we need. And we did our first webinar, I'm going to say it was probably 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago.
It was 21 days ago.
21 days ago. And there was just so many people that came on that webinar and were learning how to do all of this and saw just how simple it really is. And some of us worked with Allison, and within a week, we have our online training programs done. I even have an online training program, like it's completed, the videos, the whole bit, everything that's done. And if you want to know why it's not published yet, I can tell you, but I won't get into that right now. But what I want to say is that Allison made this so simple. She knows how to teach. She knows how to walk you through all of it. And today she's going to show you how to actually do this. You're going to feel empowered. This is really exciting. There are so many people out there that need you and need your trainings. If you're a coach, a consultant, or an entrepreneur of some kind, you're seeing the problems. And if you want to respond, you need to get it virtually. You need to get it online. You need some kind of course or training that people can download and use. And Allison's going to show you today how to do that. So Allison, thank you so much again for doing this for my network. Really appreciate it. And I'll just turn over to you. Let's not waste a moment and let's get all the good stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for all the work you do in bringing the networks together and, really making this happen. Because I think right now, with everything that's going on, it's going to be the people who are taking action, who are differentiating and setting themselves up for the future. And so that really is what this is all about. Now, I want to just give a disclaimer right up front. My business is actually coaching, consulting, and building online programs for my clients in the area of resilience, adaptability, lowering stress. That's my umbrella. And so you're like, okay, well, why are you teaching us how to build an online program? Well, I have built many. And when this lockdown happened, I don't know, if for those of you who are on here who are speakers, coaches, consultants, trainers, you may have had a similar experience, which was by Friday night in the middle of March, everything was gone. That was it. And it's not funny, but I'm laughing now. But it really, the whole world shook for us. And so immediately I started getting on the phone with some of my friends, and I'm pretty good at resilience, and obviously I teach it. And what I was saying to people is, okay, what are you going to do now? Yes, we have to lick our wounds. Yes, we have to recognize that stuff's going on, but you need to figure out how to save your business. And the only way you're going to be able to do that right now is by serving your clients virtually. And they're like, yeah, I've always wanted to build an online program, but I don't know how to do it. And I said, here's the deal, because I'm part of this group, this mastermind with a whole bunch of like the big speakers. So I can't even tell you the name of it, but it's kind of fun. And they're like, I've wanted to build an online program for years, and I just never actually do it because I don't know the technology to choose. I don't know, where to start. How much do I put into the program? It just all these questions. And I said, okay, I'm going to do a webinar for you. Everybody come on. I will answer all your questions because I have this experience. And then I said, let me know in advance what your questions are. And I started getting the emails and the notes, like what technology, and it was just so many aspects of it. And I said, enough, here's what we're going to do. I will do the webinar that I'm doing today for you. And I am going to build a program teaching you every step of how to build a program, every step, holding nothing back, from editing your video to choosing what content to put in to how to get it up and how to choose the right technology. And it was just as I was building that Jennifer came into my connection area, right? And we had a chat, and she said, let's offer this publicly. So that is how we got here today. My plan for today, I do have one. So let's make this happen. I'm going to switch over and share my PowerPoint. You know what I'd love to hear from each of you? This is going to be an interactive webinar, folks. So here's what I'd love to know. I would love to know what you do. Do you already have a body of work? Do you already have a body of work that is, hold on a second. Why is this not working? Okay, tell me what you do. Are you a speaker, a consultant, someone who has wanted to do this for a long time? I am a life coach. Awesome, Brent. Thank you. Keep going, telling me more. All right. Referrals exchange platform. I do seminar of talk on real estate. Awesome. Golf course manager and performance coach. You know what? People are going to miss this golfing, aren't we? An instructor working on manufacturing industries on essential skills in the workplace. Fantastic. Energy medicine space. Oh, I don't even know what that means. Oh, no, I get it. You're in energy medicine, the space. Okay, as opposed to, I don't know why I thought of astronauts. But anyway, that's okay. That's okay. What I'm going to do here, keep putting it up there so everybody can see. Slide manager, no pastor. No idea why this is doing it. Sorry, guys, technical challenge. So here's the thing. If you are here today and you're like, I don't know if I can do this, you can do this. Because one day you think you've got all the technology ready to go, and the next day it's not working. Can you see my proper screen? Fantastic, everybody. Thank you to those. Interior designer, moving into speaking. Awesome. Same situation as yourself. Suddenly all of my hard-won opportunities were gone overnight. And, I'm talking to other speakers, and we're hoping to get back on, in front of audiences in the next little bit. Guys, it's not going to happen. It's just not, because here's the thing. If you look at even the economies that have a plan to roll back out, the last step is the in-person entertainment industry. And the clients I'm talking to, because I'm doing, my regular resilience work, Is there like, Allison, everything we're talking nothing in person in terms of our conferences being back together until next summer, which is why we need this. Okay, we're going to help people. You need this. Let's do it. So here is our agenda. We are going to first, I'm going to talk with you about how do you use the on-demand online programs to add revenue right now. Now, the COVID, it's shaken the marketplace, but I know that there is money to be made. And actually, if this makes you feel any better, I was listening to a podcast. It's the Advanced Selling Podcast, which is one of my absolute favorites. And they were talking about when we hit a recession or a depression, money doesn't disappear. It changes where it flows. And so the reason Jennifer and I want you to get online and serve people is because people are hungry for what you have to offer. And we just need to be in a different end of the river and catch some of that flow. So there is business to be had out there, whether you're selling to corporate or individuals, both of them are on. So I'm going to just share with you some different models on how you can use online programming. Next, why now is the time to create and publish an online program? Well, I've sort of established that, but we'll go into it a little bit more. And exactly what you need to build it quickly. Now, I'm going to use a few examples of programs that I've built. In the last program that I built, which was around productivity, and it's called Take Back Your Time. Well, it was called Take Back Your Weekends, but now I'm switching it because we're all at home. We all have time right now, but we still need to be productive with the time we have, right? So it is still important. But I had the idea to build the program on a Friday. By Saturday night, I started mapping it out. By Sunday, I had the entire program mapped and filmed. Took a couple days off. Then I launched the program, had all the technology done, all of the quizzing, all of the worksheets, whole robust program by the Sunday of the next week. Launched with program participants already enrolled. And so that's what I want to show you. If you have had this, Sandrine, who I'm not sure if she's on the list today, but she joined us in the last webinar that Jennifer was talking about. And she had built an online program on her list for 9 years. 9 years. And I'm chuckling because I know I used to be the person who would procrastinate because it felt like it was so overwhelming and it just like, I'm never going to get it done. It's just like when you sit down, and it doesn't have to be that hard. So I'm going to show you exactly what you need to build it quickly and how you can do it without hiring the big expensive consultants. I also want to talk about why so many people fail to build an online program. And like this, that'll help you avoid it, which is next on the list. And I'm going to show you the technologies you need. All right. And then Q&A. Here's my commitment to you. I will not leave this webinar today until I have answered all of your questions. So get ready because we are ready to go. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes, I'm in, or something motivational in the chat box, please. All right. Let's go for it. Yes. Cool. Yahoo. All right. See, and I can't see you and I want to see you. So these are really fun. Okay. Let's do it. Now, I will show you some of the programs I've built. I've written 4 books. One of them is out of publication, and one of them, the Take Back Your Weekends, I decided to build into an online program instead. So it isn't launched because right now is not the right time to launch a program. I have built more programs than I've probably published, and probably that I've published or that are in circulation right now. So for example, this program here, which was years ago, is called Revenue Rescue. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I built that program and I might want to relaunch it, and that would be a good thing. So these programs, but I've sold them, and you can do this too. Okay. So there are two ways to sell them. You can sell to individuals, so small business owners who you coach and you go through the process, and that's awesome. And you can sell them corporately. And the big companies still have money. They are tightening up their purse strings, but I'm having conversations for 5-figure deals that are including the online virtual programming. And, I have sold programs in the 6 figures in the past on my old topic, which was on networking and business development. And so I know there's both sides. So wherever you're at, just know there are hybrid options, individuals. There's just so many options available for you. Now, because of the way the industry is right now, and there's so much uncertainty, I really do need you to have a long-term plan or thinking, because this is not like, okay, we're going to get it built. And the reason we need to get it built is because if you don't build it, which is what I want to teach you, you have nothing to sell. So if it's just an idea, we can't do it. Like, you're not going to be able to sell it. Okay, somebody has raised their hand. What do you mean by next summer? Summer 2021. Sorry, Bob. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And online workshops. Okay. Whoever just raised their hands. Where am I? How am I having such a... You know what? The reason I believe I'm having some of these little issues is because somebody who's listening right now is like, I don't know how to do tech. And you're like, can I do this? And you're seeing me and you're going, shit, if she can do it. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. If she can do it, I got this. That's why this is probably happening, because it's going to make somebody feel really good.
No, Allison, I'm here and I can't see anything that shows me. I'm a panelist, so I should be able to see it. I can't see anything that says raised hands. But here's what I'm going to say to everybody. If you've got questions, post them in the Q&A, not in the chat, because sometimes it just flips too fast by me and I might miss it. Put it in the Q&A. I'm going to moderate it all. I'm going to make sure everybody's question's done. And I'll let Allison know if there's a question that has to be answered right away, okay? So
okay, and I will ignore all of the raised hands that are popping up on my screen, because I probably had about 15 of them in the last 3 minutes. I have no idea why, but that's okay. Okay.
Either. So we're not seeing your raised hands. So just post it in the Q&A and I'll take care of it. And you can message me privately if there's something that's urgent, okay? And I'll make sure that Allison gets it.
Done. Thank you. Okay. So the other thing right now, and one of the most valuable pieces of building an online program right now is to occupy your creativity and your mind. Like for me, I got so lost in building and creating and just serving, coming from a place of service, that it has made the experience of, as we all are, experiencing the new lockdown, the new reality so much better. And it gives you some hope. And I believe that the future of speaking is this: small group learning and workshop, say a leadership team, followed by online programming that continues the learning and solidifies it. And even if you get the big keynote where you've got 1,000 people in front of you or 100 people, and we get back to that level, I still believe that companies are going to be looking for a way for you to solidify the message of value that you have to bring. So I want you to be thinking about it very long term. And so, you can do it, but okay. So let's get into like, how do you build it and not feel overwhelmed? Actually, you know what? I have a poll and I'd love to hear from you. All right. I want to get a sense of your experience Okay, so let's go through these. See, the poll has come up. What's your experience building an online program? You've always wanted to, just haven't done it. New concept, but you don't, you want to. It's been on my list for years, but I find it overwhelming. Maybe you just came here because you wanted something to watch at noon on Wednesday. See some people, I understand. That's all right. I'm a pro and have built some programs before. Keep going. We're getting lots of votes in. We've got 32% of you have voted, 37, 38, 40, 47. Keep going. Okay, so we've got 8% of you say none of the above answers apply to me. So just if you can throw it in the chat box, tell us what would be the right answer for you. Keep going. All right, another 10 seconds to vote. 10 seconds to vote. We're good. Okay, and I'm closing it. Last, you can. Okay, let's share the results with everybody. You can see this. So always wanted to, just haven't yet. Okay, so Melissa is currently looking at a video presence to reach audiences and interested in how this could help my business. Awesome. Okay, and one of the things you can do is have videos that you're sharing on social media and then offering people, if you want more, check out my online program. And that can be a free program to nurture those relationships. This can be a paid program that takes them into your client base, which is awesome. Or you can do a hybrid, which means that you can have a free preview so they can get started on your program, maybe the first 3 or 4 modules that they can have for free, sort of test drive a little bit. And then if they want more, they can purchase. So those are ways that you can use that video on the outside to actually leverage what you're doing internally. So if you have a YouTube channel, an Instagram following, LinkedIn, I've had a lot of success with LinkedIn, and even Facebook. All right. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Stop sharing the poll. And I will now share my desktop one. All right, let's do this. What you may, as you're thinking about this, is I'm going to start with what you don't need, and then we're going to talk about what you actually do need. Fancy tech skills. Now, I'm going to put that as a caveat as you managed to get here today. Check. If you can work a Word document and a PDF, you can make this happen. It's helpful if you've had a little bit of experience online, but I'm going to walk you through it so you don't even need that. Actually, Sasha, who was in our last cohort, she was really intimidated by the technology, and she was like, "You made this so simple for me." Awesome. You do not need learning consultants. Now, what I mean by this is when I started to learn this, actually approached some companies and some learning consultants. And the quotes I was getting were in the tens of thousands of dollars to have an expert help me build it. And there is a reason to do that. So when I sold my big corporate program to the banks, they had a learning consultant inside the bank that I didn't have to pay for, but that they assigned to my program. Same thing with the big accounting firms who I've worked with. So those learning consultants, now is not the time. Or expensive technologies. Now, it would be very difficult for you to build and launch an online program spending $0. But you can absolutely do it on a couple $100 of technologies and building. So just thinking about that. But you know what? If you sell it and we build this right, you can sell it and then you get your costs covered. That's the key. All right. But it's not like the $20,000 that it used to be for setups and professional camera, videographer. And yes, of course. I mean, if you could get into a green screen studio room, awesome. But I think everybody's in the same boat right now. And so what we really want to be doing is we want to be looking at, what can you do the best with what you already have accessible to you? Okay. So that's what you don't need, but what do you need? You need to have a passion to serve your clients. And I tell you, it's one of my things is I don't want to help somebody who wants to put up crap on the internet. And I'm sorry if that's you. I hope it's not you, because I know the people in Jennifer's network who she's brought us all together are a really active, engaged group of people. So maybe just give me a little in the chat box that you want to help people and that you have a good, valuable based message and you want to create a good program, not a bad program. Okay, because there are lots of those. So just throw it in the chat box. Yes. So thank you, because this is really important that we're not crappy programs and crappy online teachers drive me nuts. I know. I once bought a program and the guy was coaching the cohort, like the whole group, when he was in jail for tax fraud. I'm sorry, I'm just pausing. I can't hear you, but your mouth is what? And what he did was he had his assistant. So we'd been working with him originally, but he had his assistant go and get answers, and then she would respond as if we were him. So I got to tell you, there's a lot of bad out there. And my goal is to help the people who have a good, valuable message and want to serve get online quickly, because whoever steps up first is going to, like, first to the game. Those are the people who are going to really win in this case. Now, as I already said, reasonable tech skills. If you made it here, you can make it anywhere. Of course, you can't go anywhere because, we're all in lockdown, but a willingness to learn, obviously very important. And this is so important. Patience and staying power. I can't even tell you the number of times when, and I admit it, like when you see the actual program inside the program of me building the program to show you exactly how to build a program, I wanted to quit so many times. Oh my gosh. But the thing is, I'm just by myself and nobody was helping me build the program. But I knew I had to get it done because I wanted to serve and I was really committed. And so there are going to be tough times when you're like, oh, how do I do this or whatever? And you know what? I'm going to help you get through it. There is, you just have to be willing. That's all you need. We can do that. Yeah. And you know what, Michelle, about the real estate, I think what you're saying about, I want to serve my clients through this difficult time with real estate, because the climate is, people are so confused, right? Okay. Here's why people fail. Remember I told you at the beginning that I wanted to be sure that I'm going to show you the potential blocks, okay? And so you can avoid them. So they try to do too much at once. I'm curious, if you think about all the content you have you ever been like, I've got so much, I don't even know where to start? Throw it in the chat box for me, please. Because yes, exactly, GK, thank you. We have too much, and I always give too much. I mean, it's just who I am. But the thing is, when it comes to online learning, we really want to be super specific and focused on the outcome that we're trying to achieve for our people. And if you think you're overwhelmed by having so much info to share, right? Like Janie, you're saying there, your clients, your students are going to be more overwhelmed. So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how we break that down. So, because here's the thing, if you have too much, what I'm going to say to you is awesome. because that means you have more than one program. That's the answer. All right. The next thing is they don't focus on the exact step that they're on. Okay, so here's the thing. People will say to me, what kind of a technology do I need to have to host my platform? And I'm like, okay, well, here are the options. And my recommendation is one that's called Thinkific. It is for the upgraded program that gives you access to pretty much anything you would need. It's $99 US per month to host everything. Takes care of payments, takes care of emailing, takes care of your student quizzing, takes care of it all. That is your main expense that you would have to do. But here's the thing. That is less important right now than knowing what you're actually going to put in the program. Because until we have your program built, we don't need to put it up on the internet, right? So we got to focus on which step is which. Yes, Teresa, it's called Thinkific. And in a little bit, I'm going to actually show you the back end of Thinkific and give you a link to go and check it out after the program is done. The other piece is it's too steep a learning curve. And this is why it gets so frustrating, because well, actually, I'm going to wait till I show you the technology list. But the key is that it's just like, I have made it, well, I'll just show you. I'll show you, I'm so excited. Cost prohibitive. I mean, again, people fail because they get into it and it's too much money. And so I guarantee you, I think some of you are waiting for the big, this is going to cost you $5,000 to work with me. And I'm going to guarantee you it does not, you can drop many zeros and it's not going to be that, well, I don't know how many zeros, but anyway, don't concern yourself with that. And the last reason I believe, and the most important reason, is because there is a lack of belief in the value you can offer somebody. And even if you're teaching something like I teach productivity, I teach, stress reduction. Well, there are thousands, if not a million people who teach those things. But the approach you bring, your lens, your insight, your life experience that you bring to the table is exactly what people can grow from. And so here's the rule that I would share with you in terms of if you can actually teach somebody something. Are you ready for this? Okay. If you have learned this much, do this the right way, and somebody else wants to be where you are, but they are at least 2 steps behind where you are in your learning, you can coach them to come forward. Okay, so let me repeat that. So wherever you are, the people who you want to serve are the people who are at least 2 steps behind where you were. So maybe they're feeling the way you felt a year ago, or a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 3 years ago, because you've learned this along your journey. What that means is you can actually bring them forward. People don't need you to be in, a mansion and driving a Porsche. First of all, you can't even drive it right now. So, or not anywhere to go anywhere. They don't need that from you. What they need is somebody who is 2 steps ahead of where they're at, because it took you so much to get those 2 steps ahead. You're going to shorten the learning curve for them. Okay. Does that make sense for everybody there? Just give me a little chat box. Yes, I love that advice. Oh, thank you. DePal, is that how I'm saying your name? Awesome. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So it's just being that just a little bit ahead of where that person who you want to serve is. Thanks, Christine. Perspective shifter with 2 exclamation marks. Love that. Yeah. Good. Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Helpful. Yes. Good. All right. I'm pausing because this is so critically important. That to create a program, to publish a program, and to promote or sell your program are three separate skills. We need to create so that we have something to put on the internet. We need to publish it so that we have something to sell. And I want to be very clear, my service offering is not teaching you how to sell a program. I have an advice on where I think you should go for $100 that can do the absolute best job. I'm going to help you skip the tens and tens of thousands of dollars of online programming right now to go to one $100 program to learn how to sell a program that you build. But here's what happens time and time again. People go, I want to sell something, but they never actually get something on the internet to sell. Making sense, people? Everybody? Create, publish, and promote. Three different pieces of the puzzle. Okay. Can you see, and again, thanks for all these in the chat box. Can you see how you might meld them together, and that's what makes it more overwhelming? It's gonna wait for this chat box. See, when you try to create it and publish it and promote it, and you're thinking of it all as the same mushy big ball of overwhelm, you're not going to get anything done. Because that's what happens. We sit at our laptop and we go, I'm going to publish an online program. And we try to figure it all out at the same time, and it doesn't work. Okay. Yes, I will totally elaborate on these. Of course I will. All right. So let's talk about the creating part. I mentioned I'd written 4 books. And my very first book, it was not like, I know I make this all look like really easy right now because I've just done it so many times, but it was not good the first time around. So here's how it worked. Sorry, I was just reading Deb here. So true. A little ahead and your unique wisdom go a long way. Discipline to begin and persevere are the key. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I decided I wanted to write a book, and part of my story is that part doesn't matter, but it was time, and I'd already been doing some networking training, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. They say if you want to work with big companies, you gotta have a book. So I sat down at my computer and I had a blank Word document, and I started at the very beginning, and I tried to make my perfect first sentence. And after a couple of days of navigating that first paragraph, because there's so much pressure and trying to figure out where to go, I had about 20 or 30 pages, like first draft, complete. And I gave them to my mom, and my mom has edited everything I've done professionally. So she, I've been a columnist for years. I've written for big publications, written my books. She sees everything, except for apparently the emails that I'm sending out that I had the wrong time in. So anyway, it's okay. So I give her these papers, and I'm like, are you reading it? I'm so excited. I'm like, I've got this book. It's ready. Here we go. And she's like on the couch watching TV, like sort of half reading it. And like, how like when you're watching or you're reading something and you fall asleep, and it just falls out, and she's like this sleeping. Anyway, I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm doing a good job of this. And I was so paralyzed because I'm like, that was so much hard work. And she said, Allison, it's not your best writing. And I think I'd put so much pressure on this book that need to get done. Anyway, I went to a workshop because I'm learning. And this would have been 2007. Okay. So think back to how long ago I learned this. And I heard a person named Perry Sean, and Perry is a master at building programs and writing books and everything. And she said this to me. Well, she actually said it to the whole room, but I have internalized it that it was only to me. And I just tell everybody on her behalf. She said that to think, to write, and to edit are 3 separate steps. So not dissimilar to what we just talked about. We've got to create, we have to publish, and we have to promote. So right now we're like, okay, I want to focus in on how do you create? And to create, we need to think, to write, and to edit in 3 separate steps. When I learned this, everything became easier. This is why I could build a program in a day. This is why I can write a column in an hour and have it published somewhere. This is how I can write a book in a matter of weeks. Because I learned to think, to write, to edit are 3 separate steps. So let me show you the thinking. All right, I'm going to end this show. And I am now going to share this. Okay. I will put it, actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to put it on this side. There we go. Share. Okay, can you see, just give me a little hello. Can you see a word outcome in a mind map that just says outcome on the page? Awesome. Okay, good. So here's the thinking. First of all, this is going to look like this, but we're going to walk through each step one by one. I want you to first, actually, everybody grab a piece of paper. If you have a piece of paper available or a Word document on the outside, let's do some workshopping. Let's get this rolling. Let's get your program started. All right. Everybody's got a pen and a piece of paper. I keep using my Delta pen because it's my way of feeling like I'm back on the road in a hotel. All right. Traveling, speaking to audiences that are live when I can see your eyeballs. Okay. So what is the outcome that you want? So it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Okay. I just want you to jot something down about the online program you're thinking of. So somebody here was talking about English as a second language. What's the outcome that you want somebody to do? And I'd like you to be as specific as you can. I would like them to move from being, at this level, whatever the industry standards are or whatever you're using, to being conversational at the end of my program. What is the outcome you're looking for? So just write that down. Okay. So the next thing, because see, here's what I always tried to do. So this goes into the thinking part of it. I always started with, I had a sense of what I wanted my outcome to be, but then I went directly to content. Okay. All right. So I went from here and then I'm like, okay, well, I could teach this and I could teach this. I could teach this. I could teach this. And then that way I'd be like, it's just too much. So what we want to do is we want to actually add a step in between. And what that step is decide what behavior needs to change for my student in order to achieve that outcome. So let's say the exposure to more and more people for Amandeep, your online program outcome. I don't know what your course curriculum is, but this is the kind of thing that we work through on our daily coaching calls for people. Okay. So the behavior would be, and again, making this up, they need to consistently post on a platform. Okay. Or the right platform, consistently So that could be one of your behaviors. But then we're going to ask the next question is, what do they need to, then the content they need to know has to feed into changing that behavior. Okay, so in this case, if the outcome is reach more people online, the behavior change that's needed for that could be, they need to consistently post on the right platform. The content that would teach them how to do that could be something like they need to know what the right platform is, right? Or that might be a new behavior. They might need to hone in and stop trying to do 10 platforms and pick one or two, right? And then the content is like, okay, how do I pick that right platform? How do I consistently post? Well, you can, maybe the content might be about using technologies that will post for you, or it might be about, I'm just making stuff up, right? But who else has one that wants to, does that make sense? How this step here in between, this behavior change is actually the missing ingredient that often overwhelms the content. Okay. Because if we have an outcome, we generally know we need to know that, right? And we have to have the value. There's another step in here going the other way. But we got to think, okay, what is the behavior for the student that needs to change? Because if they do that, then the outcome is inevitable. Okay. Then you choose the content to fit that. Okay. How is that? Give me some yeses. So if you were to say, with the outcome that I had you post on your piece of paper, what are 1 or 2 or 3 behaviors that you would want somebody to change in order to achieve that outcome? Okay. So jot that down. And then from there, you can spike it out. And if I were doing this on a piece of paper, I don't know if you can see how much you can see me, but I would just like right here, I'm going to stop share and I'm just going to put me on the screen. And then I would just start making arrows. And this is how I map things out. So here are the behaviors. Okay. And then like this. And then what are the content they need to understand? Sorry, that's in order to actually achieve that behavior. Okay. So healthy living requires building new daily habits like eating less sugar and a daily walk. Awesome. So here's how this would work. The outcome is somebody wants to get healthier in the middle of, while they're on lockdown. The behavior would be, I want them to take a daily walk. But you know what? Most people know they need to take a daily walk. So now they might be like, okay, how do I help them achieve that? That's your content. So maybe I have them take a timer and, how do you integrate it into your day? Right? What are some other things, putting running shoes at the door could be another little trick. That would be your content. Anything that will help them create the walk to go for each day to get the outcome that is what they desire. Okay? See how that feeds? Now, I always, like I said, I knew this and I knew the content. I didn't know this, how to bridge, until my dear friend, who I just am so eternally grateful to, Nurdan. She, and I talk about her inside the program as well. She's the one who walked me through this. And if we feed our content always into achieving the behavior and then the outcome becomes inevitable, then anything that doesn't fit, anything that doesn't actually help your student learn how to achieve that behavior does not belong in that particular program. Okay. Funsies. Let's go to our next slide. Any questions on that content? Let's just, because I know our timeline, we've got a bit of time left, but let's just be sure that I'm not missing anybody's need for something right now. Okay, I've lost you on Zoom. Where are we? There we go. Sorry. All right. How do you prioritize which content to develop first? Awesome question. You've got to pick one. And so here's the way I would choose which outcome you want. Because the answer to the which content to prioritize first is actually based on which outcome do you want. So if you have a lot of outcome, I would start with what is the program or the outcome that is easiest for you to solve right now for a student. Okay, so that means maybe you've got some experience with, maybe you have some in-person workshops that are already rocking it or working out there. Maybe you have a topic that your friends constantly ask you about. See, when I first started my coaching, consulting, and training business in 2006, the reason it happened was because I had struggled with and learned how to network very quickly in my young career. And I started getting asked for advice all the time on how do you network. And eventually, if the same people ask you the same advice, you realize you can charge for it and it becomes consulting. So start with path of least resistance. Okay, what do you already have in your, library of content that you could pull from or advice that you're already giving? And the other piece of it in terms of the outcome would be, what do people need now? And if we use that long-term lens, what do people need in the future? Okay, what do they need now? What do they need in the future? And how can you position it so that it's going to serve that? And then the behaviors, generally you can adjust 3 behaviors per course. Okay, now they can be fairly big. So for me, mine is, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you exactly what mine is by showing you the map that I created to build this program. Ha ha. Ha ha, she says. Okay. Can tell I have fun, eh? Like, thank goodness I can make myself laugh because this was, when I was doing this in the days, I was certainly needing a sense of humor. All right. So now keep in mind the program I'm going to show you. Oh, I should show you the program. Well, yes. Here's the back end. Okay. Here is the program that I built in a matter of days. And this is how your program could look if you choose the Thinkific platform. There are other platforms, totally fine. But basically, like I put video in, some written word. I've got quizzes. This is like you working through this information. I will teach you how to protect your intellectual property as best you can. And so so this is just the program, okay, of what it could look like, because you want to have a sense of what you're trying to build. But when I did this, the first thing I thought of, okay, so I want to help somebody create and publish an online program in a matter of days on a tight budget, which, as we've mentioned, is a couple hundred, a few $100s in terms of technology you need and that kind of stuff. Then the one barrier is really how overwhelmed they are. So my behavior was that when someone gets overwhelmed, I want them to go back to the last step and start again. Okay, so that they're only focused on the one by one. So everything that was in that part of the program, I was going to zoom out a bit. was here. So accountability buddies, ways to reach me. That's why I added in the coaching in the program. So you have me for question and answer. I'm pretty good at email response, troubleshooting. I even show you in the program all the tech challenges I had so that you can be avoided. And then, so this is where we're just like, what's the behavior? What is the content that you need? So these are the different pieces of that puzzle. And I know that could seem overwhelming right now. And one of my goals is not to overwhelm you. So please know that I go through all of this very, very, very step by step by step by step. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Now let's go to technology. And I'm going to start with a poll on your tech experience. Are you ready for this, folks? All right. How would you rate your tech experience? Not your text experience that it says there, your tech experience. Okay, it's a miracle I've managed to join this webinar. I'm a tech wizard. Give me a software and I'll have it mastered in an hour. Awesome. I can find my way around social media, but I've never built anything. Okay, very cool. That will help you so much. If you show me, I can learn. Okay, and we've got some other, which I don't know what other might be. Maybe it's, I have no idea. You know, the fellow we had in the last program, you know, he was learning like lights and light speed, all of these new programs. It was awesome to see and witness. Okay, I'll give you another 10 seconds to answer. We've got almost 70% of you have voted already. Good job, well done. Okay, and poll and share results. Here we go. So most of you, if you show me, I can learn, which is awesome. And for the miracle folks, the fact that you're here reminds me that you can absolutely do this. Okay, awesome. All right, we'll finish that. And let's go back to desktop 1. And I will put this back up. All right, so let's dive. I see there are a few more questions in the chat box, but we will get to them. Like I said, I'm not leaving you here until I've given you everything that I can help you with. So let's talk. Okay, so we talked about creating. Okay, we're going to build the content that's going to serve the outcome, which is going to serve and offer value to your client. Okay, now let's just shift and go into how do you publish your online program, because you need to have a combination of videos and Word documents and all those sorts of things. So I've got the categories of tech here for you that I think are really important. So first, to create the program, you're going to need videos, worksheets, the mapping. That mapping program that I showed you for the gold version is $2.99 US per month. Okay, so if you want to keep a little tally financially of what this is going to take you. Videos, if you have an iPhone, a light, my ring light cost me off the shelf, Best Buy, $58, and that's in Canadian. So, you know, anywhere between 30 and, you know, 50, 60 kind of dollars there, or you can have the great big light setup. So I've used that as well. And I bought that 10 years ago. So it could be, I don't know how much those are, but I left them at my brother's office after I filmed the last program, and I haven't left the house really because of isolation. Okay. So all of that, we can do it. There are some editing programs for your videos. There's one that is online that is free. It's called OEM, I think. And what if you don't use an iPhone? You know what, Lori? Do you have, okay, a couple things. Do you have a webcam on your on your laptop? Do you have yes, indeed, perfect. Do you have for other people, do you have an Android phone that has video? Yes. If you have an iPad, see, there's so many options. So you're good. Good. The webcam that I'm using for this program right now that I'm on is called a Logitech C1080. I'll put that in here. However, it was locked in my office when I built the last program, so I'm using, I didn't use it. Okay. To make a fillable PDF, the Adobe program, you could actually use Google Forms, totally doable. And one of the students in the last cohort, what she did was she actually used Google Forms and embedded it into the program. So she automatically had the student's information updated with the program. How cool is that? Doesn't cost you anything. If you want Adobe, which I use, it's I think $40 US a month. Publishing the program, online learning platform. Now, I have my favorite, and I'll show you those in the sec because it's in the next slide, but there are lots of them to choose from. And I'm going to put your mind at ease because a lot of people spend a lot of time choosing the online program. You really can't go wrong. Excuse me. You can't go wrong with the main platforms. Okay. Changes budget, changes tech skill a little bit, but most of them have most of the functionality. The next thing you're going to need are images, little thumbnails for your sales page, right? And the little sales widget. And so one of the things I love is it's called Box Shot King. And I will get you a link for that. And it's, I think $15. Something like that. I don't really remember. Maybe it's $60 every 6 months. Anyway, which would be $10 a month. Yeah. And then you need to know how to sell your program. And again, that is not included in this program, but we do walk through how do you create a sales page. So I choose Thinkific. And the reason I choose Thinkific is for many reasons. One of them is because it's so easy. I'm going to put in the chat box my link. By the way, I do affiliates. I recommend you do them too, where not only can you, if you're promoting a program, don't do affiliates for programs you don't believe in. Okay. But if you're not familiar with it, the way it works is, so I've just given you that private link to Thinkific. And if you use that link, then they'll give me, I think it's 10% or 20% of a referral fee. It's going to cost you the same no matter what. Okay. But I am always hugely open, transparent about that. It's just a nice little bonus to help me pay for my Thinkific platform. And you can do that too. You can sign up for affiliates for any online program pretty much that you're already using. Oh, didn't get the link. It's right there. It's the share. It looks sort of funny. There, I just sent it again. And what I'll do is I also will be sure it's starts with HTTP. Oh, because I sent it to the panelists. My apologies, folks. There you go. Now you've got the link. So that's the Thinkific link. Other programs that you could use, Kajabi. Kajabi is really extensive and phenomenal, and it also has all your email platforms. So it would replace ClickFunnels, it would replace MailChimp, etc. for your online program, not necessarily for all of your marketing. So something to consider there. One of my favorites is Articulate. It's really expensive in comparison, and it's very technical. So when I sold my online program on profitable networking to corporate, I needed to use Articulate because it has it actually shows you who's done what and has extensive reporting and will go into the back end of the big companies' learning management system and all of that. But you don't need that. So why would you spend time right now learning a complicated software when you really just need to get your brilliance that is up in your head out on the internet for somebody to buy or to use with no charge, whichever your business model is. Okay. So that helps. Now let's go back to sharing the screen. Okay. So Thinkific, I believe that's the program because that's the one I'm going to walk you through inside of this program. Now, are there any questions at this point? Let me just come up here to the chat. Give me a heck yes, you're still here. I know our retention rate, everybody's still on. This is awesome. Will you be sharing these questions?
Allison, there's been some questions along the way. Is it okay if we open it up and ask those questions just so you can talk as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the one question that we got right in the beginning was, how can I deliver online workshops, job search, cover letter, resume, critic, job search strategies, interview skills? How can I deliver that online in workshops?
Oh my gosh, so easy. Easily, let me show you. I'm going to go inside of this program. So there are a couple things. Number one, you're going to want to have Zoom, or there are other ones. There are Drillio is for free. 8x8 is for free, where you can have students come on and interact, not dissimilarly to how we are interacting. And then what you would do is you could have a here. So let me show you inside my program. What I've done is I actually have right in here, Zoom links, coaching call schedule, and all the days that the links. So you can put the live inside the online program. Okay. Good. Jennifer?
Yeah, I've got another question for you. Somebody anonymous had asked about the financial investment. I think you've answered that question. But anonymous, if you have more questions about the financial investment on this, just ask.
Yep.
Teresa asked, what is the mapping program that you showed us?
Oh, and that is mindmap. Mindmap.com. I'll put it into the chat box. Mindmap. It's $2.99 USD per month.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. And Denise asked, if the program was created on one platform, like an iPad, will it show properly on other devices like computers, Android, iPhones?
So if you are, okay, so if you created it, yes. Like once you put the program into, if you use Thinkific or any of the other online platforms, the truth is they manage your mobile friendly piece, right? It's not like the old days where you had to actually recode what you were sharing. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go on. Again, I will stay, but I do want to share with everybody your opportunity to keep going on this work and what we can do, because we have a special challenge that is happening starting on Friday. So what that means is for you to do this together. So have your people be with you and finally get this done. It begins this Friday at 11 a.m. That is the thing. You are going to get full access to the program. Now today was like a snippet of what you're going to see in there. I literally am, so it's like Inception. It's a game of Inception where I am filming a program for you to learn how to build a program. So that means you are going to see exactly how to edit a video. If you've never edited a video, doesn't matter. You put my tutorial on one side of your screen, your video editing software on the other side of the screen, and you push pause on mine while you do it. Pause on mine while you do it. It's that simple. And we're going to keep you totally focused in the create phase, in the publishing phase so that you can go and sell your program. So you're going to get full access to that. Also, you are going to get, starting on Friday, if you are part of the challenge on Friday, you're going to get daily coaching calls. Now, the last cohort, they said this is where the gold was beyond, because if you got a little bit stuck or you weren't sure what your behaviors were, I was online and we worked through it together. And it's so awesome. So coaching with me, my coaching rate is $1,275 a month, and you are getting that 100% included, no charge for the 7 days. And then I'm doing 3 days a week until the lockdown is done. So if you don't get it done in 7 days, that's okay. But I want you to get it done in 7 days. And here is why. And it's actually like exactly a week. So we start on Friday. And if you finish and you create and you publish your program by the Friday of the next week, so that's the 24th, your program will be promoted to Jennifer Beal's list. She has 16,000 engaged people. That's how all of you ended up here today, is through Jennifer's list. And that would cost you $2,500. So if you are ready to jump in, finally get this done, and you want to have something so that you can pivot your business, get it up online, do your online program. I am telling you, I have bought almost every program that is out on the market for the last, over the course of the last 10 years. And there is nothing. And I will give you your money back if you find any program that is this in depth that will teach you exactly what you need to do absolutely every step of the way, because there is not one that opens the floodgates to the behind the scenes. And I know you guys are thinking that this has got to be really, really expensive. It's not. Until Friday, I am still going to offer you the $197. Now, it is USD because we have people from around the world who are on my online programs, and you only get to charge one. On Friday, as soon as we are done the first coaching call, I am putting the program up to $497 because there's just way too much value for people to, I wanted to make it accessible. I wanted to make it fair. I'm putting my heart and soul into it to help everybody get their programs up and running. And it's a lot of value. So I want to increase the price. And actually the last people told me to add a 0. So, but I'm not doing that right now. Okay. So throw it in the chat box. Like, that's a pretty good deal, right? Like, for what you thought you were going to have to pay to get all of this, that entire step-by-step. Now, I'm going to put a link inside the chat box that you can go and you can register right now. I'm going to go courses, create. And this program, you go on, and if you're not sure, okay. Now, here's the thing. You got to be sure by Friday if you want that lower price. Okay. Now, you do not have to be part of the 7 days. Oh, you can hop in, you can do whatever. You're going to have full access, lifetime access to that online program. So if you need to, you're doing another program right now, or you're up to your eyeballs, or you're trying to homeschool your kids, you can still get in on the lower price if you buy it by the end of the coaching call on Friday. But if you are just like, Allie, I'm not 100% sure if I'm ready for this, or what this program is going to look like, I'm going to show you this. Okay, here's what you have an opportunity to do. That link that I just put in the chat box is going to take you to this program, this page. Okay, the little video, me sitting right here in my living room. I'm going to talk to you about the program. I'm going to share some course reviews of people from the last cohort. This Sandrine, who's on there, she had it on her list for 9 years to build the program, and she's already published. Same thing with Colleen. Her last online program took her 2 years to build, and she did it. Look at this, 3 focused days of effort. How amazing is that? So let's keep going. There I am, smiling. But right here, when you're on that page, if you're not ready, if for whatever reason you're like Allison, and you can go through this whole program, you can see, look what everything that's in there, okay? But if you're like, oh, Allison, you've spent an hour and 15 minutes with me and I still don't know if you're any good or if this program is any good. I'm joking because I think, if you're still here, you're good. You just go free program and you can see inside the program and test drive. See, I've already logged in, so it doesn't want me to do that. You can test drive it for, I think, 9 modules of the 35 modules. Okay, so that is your opportunity. Listen, I'm going to stick around, but I do want to close because I want to just respect our time. We said we'd be done by 1:15, and lo and behold, it is 1:15.
There are some questions, and they're still coming in, so we can answer some of those questions. So here's a question about the program.
Great.
Somebody said, I'm in a class that got switched to online Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Any options for me? That was GK.
Okay, so the beauty is, GK, everything is going to be recorded. You are going to, when you're inside the program, have a private link. I upload all of our coaching calls onto a private Vimeo folder. So it's all going to be there so you can watch and learn afterwards. So I know some people were actually doing that and who couldn't make it for the online calls and found tons of value in that. And then the other piece is we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Okay. And I'm also there for email support, when I can, because I'm home right now. So it's not like I'm on an airplane waiting to go somewhere. So I think the students so far have said I'm pretty quick to respond. If you have any questions.
I want to say, I was in that first cohort that we did a couple of weeks ago, and I did a program in 7 days, and so did other people. And really, the value that we got was when we were on the coaching every single day with Allison. And it wasn't just Allison's input, although she's just on it, and any question we had, she could answer immediately for us, which really helped us. But each of us also was grasping aspects of the program faster than others. And so when stuff came up, we were able to help each other as well. And there was really good support amongst us. It was really good networking, really good to stay connected with people. So there's something about every day getting together with a group of people and doing it. So the challenge starts on Friday. And in the last one, there were people that completed that challenge, and I will be promoting out to my network. And I want to encourage you to also put your program together so I can share it out into my network. There are so many people out there right now with needs that need to be solved immediately. And the reason Allison and I are doing this for you is so that you can reach all of those people and start helping them. We just want to see people help during this pandemic time, solve their problems fast. And the way to do it is to have some online programs, because we can't get together and meet like that, or we can't necessarily find each other and phone each other up. So I have taken this, and I can tell you that it does work, and you can have a program ready to go and launch within 7 days. Very doable. If I did it, you can do it too.
Absolutely. And you know what, just to close on this, because I think it is time for us to go. I pulled this quote from Simon Sinek, who, if you've ever heard of him, he's great, but it's true. Dream big, start small, but most of all, start. Mm-hmm. And I think that when it comes to the online program, we all know it's a good idea. It can feel like a very lonely world creating on your own. And that's why I put this program together. And you know what? We'll have laughs. You watch the videos, and it's like you and I right here, except I'm in my big comfy chair and, walking through it and showing you everything I'm doing. And, I wish that the years and years and years that I spent trying to figure out, how do I edit a video? How do I, choose an online platform? How do I upload this? How do I troubleshoot this? I had to sit and work through them. And I'm just, I guess, stubborn enough in terms of when I'm focused on building something, I want to be able to build it all. And even more so than because I wanted to be able to outsource and still know what people were doing. And so for that, I was, I found really, really helpful. So don't forget, you can go on, you can start with 9 of the 35 modules that have value in it. All the technology is there. The list and the link is free. You don't have to pay anything for that. It's 9 full modules. And then if you want the others and you want the online coaching, it's $197 US until Friday, and then it goes up from there. So I hope I will see you on the other side. And I know I've got a lot of comments here. People are appreciative of all the context. And I know like we can get into the weeds. We can, look at all of that. But the how of putting it up is a lot easier than you probably think it is. So thank you everyone for being here. Let me know if you learned something, if you loved it all. Look at that. It was awesome. Thank you, Allison and Jennifer. Great webinar. Really excited. Excellent. Yeah, you guys, you've got it. And remember, done is better than perfect. You can always edit. You can always fix it. You can always go to that next level. Okay. It's absolutely possible, but you can get this done. And I hope I get to be a part of your experience as we go through it. So thanks so much. Have the best rest of the day. Stay safe out there. And I hope to see you inside the program. And again, I will
be on right now and answer these other questions there. So
okay, sure. So everybody go and
and if you still have questions, just ask them in the Q&A. And Alice and I are going to stay here and answer all of them till you get it. So somebody anonymous said, have you heard of Access Alley as a WordPress plugin?
I have not. Does Anonymous want to tell us about it? What other platforms have you tried to arrive with the think of it as your best choice? Okay, I've done Teachable, Articulate, Rise, WordPress plugin, so WooCommerce, Woo Membership. Those are the ones off the top of my head. And again, I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. I choose Thinkific because it's super, super simple. It integrates with ConvertKit, which I've now got my emails all sorted out and working, and it's very intuitive. The other thing is, like, I met the guy who started it like 2.5 years ago, and he gave me a hoodie. And so for about a year, or like 2 years, I've been at the Archangel Summit. It's got Thinkific down the side, and I think it maybe was subliminal messaging. That all those years I was wearing that like incredibly comfy sweatshirt, which I'm wearing a lot now. So literally you can't go wrong. But I did need to, here's the thing, you can't have the question of what program you're going to use stall your progress. That's the key. So you just got to pick one and go for it. And because I could only teach one inside the program, I chose Thinkific. Do I accept PayPal? Yes, people can email me directly, PayPal. What I did with the shopping cart on the program was just use Stripe because it's so simple and it's easy. And if you want to send me a message, I'm actually going to put you, type you an answer. But you know what? I'll just put it in the chat with my email. Okay, or you actually probably already have my email, but I'll give it to you again. And by the way, when I send an email, it's actually from my email. It's not a marketing email. It's like, it's me, AllisonGraham.co.
There's one here about the name of the location to get graphics.
Oh, yes. So Box Shot King. Let me get you a link for that. Because I think, is it box shot or is it 3D? I got it here somewhere for you. Go to my stickies.
I think you said box shot.
Yep, right here. And I will send you the link because I did sign up for a referral for that as well. Because, and again, I hope you'll do that too. It's not a lot of money, but it adds up, right? And in today's marketplace, we got to do everything we can do to serve people because it's a great program, and that works. So with that one, I'm going to show you, I created all of these images using Box Shot King. And I teach you how to use it inside the program.
That's great. Drillio program you said after 8x8.
Oh, yes. Okay. So let me just get you the actual writing. It is free. I didn't end up going with it because I've already bought Zoom, and I know there's a lot of Okay, IL Drew. You know when you're trying to find it?
I'm gonna take a question because I can answer it. Somebody asked, is it easy to set up a Stripe account? Yes, Stripe is an account that you set up where you can accept credit cards online. It is so super easy to set up. Yes. And so is PayPal, actually. They're both really easy to set up.
Yeah, and you just pick one. Sorry, guys. All right, keep going. I'm gonna multitask.
Okay, how long is the coaching sessions as part of the challenge?
Well, they tend to go about an hour to an hour and a half. And I allow a little extra time. I have a group coach, my speakers group, we meet online at noon, but I usually show up there. I think by the time we're done, Jennifer, what is it? It's about 12:30, 12:15 at least. But I don't think anybody's ever felt like they are missing out on
Well, the thing
like don't have enough
about
time.
the coaching was you would stay with us as long as we had questions, and then you would also like field stuff outside of hours, which was fantastic. Like, I think what to get across here is that whatever you need, you're going to get from Allison, so that you can complete this in 7 days in that challenge if you truly want to.
Yeah.
So the coaching, yeah, 1 hour a day, which was really great. And I just scheduled it in my calendar and I went and I did it, and I was connecting with great people and learning a lot, and it was moving me forward.
I found the program. Demio.
You did? You're going to put up? Is that?
I am. I knew I was looking for, I think because Drulo was on my mind. I don't know why, but Demio is the alternative. And again, it's a webinar software for marketers, and there's a free version that works. Most of the programs I've suggested, except for Camtasia, have a free version to try. So even Thinkific, you could not buy it and have most of the functionality that you could possibly need. The things that you can't get with that are, for example, having a URL. So like mine is learn.allisongraham.co. And, you can have affiliates in there and all of that.
And Thinkific's quite easy to use, very intuitive, a lot of fun to use, and allows the creativity of different types of content. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So somebody wanted to know about recordings. Yes, there will be a recording of this sent out later today. As soon as Zoom downloads it to Allison, you'll receive it from Allison, so make sure you watch for that. Square for billing. Do you use Square?
I do in my in-person gigs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they aren't available anymore. Thinkific integrates with Stripe or with PayPal. So knowing that my priority is done is better than perfect, and done as easily as possible is the best answer, I've chosen that way. Now, you can absolutely set up an external shopping cart on any of the online platforms if you have the skill set to do that, but that would be out of the scope of what I could probably help you do. So Access Alley integrations, awesome. So it looks really, really good. Book a demo. So I can add this to the list of options. Thanks so much, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous attendee. I will put that into the program so people can see it as an option. The thing is, you just got to pick one and go for it. Yeah. Okay, does Thinkific integrate with WePay from Infusionsoft? Oh, look at Brett as an Infusionsoft. I did Infusionsoft for so long. It's such a robust program. I have no idea. I know it integrates with Infusionsoft. I don't know about WePay. I think it probably does. Let me look. I'm not sharing my screen, but I can look here. There's a beautiful little help center inside of Thinkific that is probably the most robust welcome center ever. No, it doesn't. External payment solutions, what to consider. No. I don't see We Pay as a thing.
Okay, somebody, Ashok was asking, how do you spell programs like Ethic? So I'm wondering, is that Thinkific?
I think she's thinking of Thinkific. Yes. Okay.
Thinkific.
So,
Okay, I'll take that in there.
all right. And I'll put this link up here so she can see it.
Oh, you got the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sent that, and Ashok, I'm going to put it in here. Thinkific. There you go.
Okay. Now, Teresa's asked, could you remind her of the special offer and the prices?
Absolutely. So it is $197 US for the online program. That includes your coaching, like the group coaching, the back-end support, like in terms of if you need me via email, and you get the entire program. So it's just $197 all in. And the second piece of that is if you launch it by April 24th, so a little bit more than a week away, you could probably get 2 days started, a head start, because we don't start the challenge until Friday. But if you finish by April 24th, Jennifer has graciously offered for action takers and people who are stepping up to share your program out with her list at no charge.
Yeah.
Why did you decide USD versus Canadian? Okay, so here's the thing. You got to pick one. And so you have to look at who are you serving? What is the, where is their main location? But here's the thing. If you offer Canadian and somebody from the US charges or buys, they're going to pay Canadian dollars. Now you could use an external shopping cart if you have that technology possibility. It is definitely an option. It's fairly standard in Canada to charge in US dollars, like across the board, most programs. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Roger? Because like I had
a question there that I have as well, and by Roger, and that is, do you prefer to use your iPhone camera or your Logitech cam for video content?
So the answer is probably going to make you, I love them both. And it totally depends where I'm sitting in my house. So if I sit in the big comfy chair, what I do is I'm going to actually just show you this. I don't take my webcam. I actually take this light. Sorry, I'm going to turn off the light so you can see. Okay, so this is the light I mentioned earlier that has $58, I think, at Best Buy, right off the shelf, or you can order. And see, it has this that holds the phone landscape, because you want it, whenever you're shooting, you want to be this way, not up and down. And so I would take this and set it on my little table right here by this chair, or if I'm using it and I'm sitting over on my couch. When I'm at the office, or like the office, this is my living room. When I'm here, I always use this camera. So if you have a professional setup, like you have an, let me just read this. If I have a professional stills camera with good HD video, would using it make it harder to edit the video if I choose to instead? Here's the thing. Editing video, really what makes it hard is primarily how much space and operating power you have on your computer for the editing. So I'm taking everything in HD, 1080p video level. So even like this program is like, I mean, it's a big wide lens, and it doesn't make a difference. And if your computer is overloaded, you need to clear up some space so that you so that your editing software can function as well as you like.
Would it be more time consuming?
You know what? The only thing is you got to get the videos from your external camera onto your laptop. And most of the time, like as long as you're doing that, maybe on an SD card, it's just a matter of taking the SD card out of the program, putting it on your hard drive. The only thing I want to say, if you're using an external source for a camera, when you're editing it, you want the raw video file to be housed on your hard drive, not working from the SD chip. Okay, so if I were just to repeat that for a second, I wonder if that makes sense to you, Roger. But if you had one of these, and so you filmed, everything on this, and then you took this out, put it into your computer, I need you to take it from here and save it on your hard drive before you put it into your online or your editor, because if it's working from an external, it can take longer. And it can also, when you take that out, it can corrupt the file if you haven't saved it properly as a standalone project. Okay.
Here's another question for you. Can we integrate Thinkific with our company website?
Absolutely.
Easily?
Absolutely. So a couple things you can do. You can have a login link. So you can create on your website a login button, etc. You can put sales widgets into your website, and you can actually do a 301 direct, which may be complicated depending on if you run your website, but you can actually put a 301 direct, so it'll go directly to your Thinkific thing, your course. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And what other way could you do that? The other piece is you want to do a subdomain, it's called. So my main website is allisongraham.co. And my subdomain for Thinkific, you need the upgraded version for this, which is $99 a month, is learn.allisongraham.co. Okay, so that's another way it's sort of embedded into the website.
Okay, so here's another question for you from Christine. And this is a question I have too. Do you usually use a professional mic, headphones, because your sound now is really good? How have you created that?
Well, you know what? I got permission to get into my office and I picked this up. So this is off of Amazon. I ordered it years ago. My light, let me turn off the light so you can see it. Okay, so what I have found is that if I'm filming from my iPhone, and I have an 8 Plus, so it's not even one of the new ones, the sound is perfectly fine. I can either use the AirPods or I can just use the sound in the house because there's no background noise. This program, okay, so I know it's not Technica. I don't know if that helps, but you can get a Yeti mic, the Yeti Blue. You need something ideally that helps, because bad audio, bad lighting, those are the two things that turn people off of videos more than anything. So you really want to, if you're going to invest in anything, I would say make it a good light. And by good light, the light doesn't have to be expensive, but a good microphone. But I think that getting 2 of these microphones might have been $150 for 2. Oh, you have one like that. And the Yeti is great. Here's the thing with the headset, if you're getting, it just doesn't look as good, right? Like I don't feel like, yay. I guess I could put my hair back. But I think the headphone is helpful if you're getting reverb at all. So when I was using just my webcam audio it was my MacBook audio, I was getting a lot of feedback when we were on our coaching calls, because it's like it just didn't work, and that's when you need to have the headset to hear.
Do you know whether most of your consumers receive your content on desktop, laptop, or mobile?
I have 0 for sure knowledge of that. My thinking is most of it is on a desktop, and here's why. Because for this particular course, people are actually doing it as they go. So it's kind of like a paint by numbers. So I think they're building the course, and it's a lot easier to do that on a desktop. However, my other programs where it's more video content and it's not so much I think people would probably use on mobile. Content should be created on mobile to vertical versus landscape mode. Okay, sorry, I'll repeat that more thoughtfully. Hold on a second. To answer the first question, it's an Audio Technica. Maybe you could write this down for us. Jennifer, please. A as in Allison, T as in Tom, R as in Roger, 2100 USB, and it's an Audio Technica.
Audio Technica, that's the mic?
Yep. Okay. So, Roger, I heard that if it's on mobile, content should be created on mobile too, i.e. vertical versus landscape mode. I would say no. And here's why. Because when you embed a video, you're embedding it from YouTube or you're embedding it from Vimeo or Wistia, okay? And all of those players work in landscape mode. So when you do a program like this, and actually we had Sasha, who was in the last cohort, who did that. She accidentally recorded everything this way. And then what she had to do is when she was editing the software, like most of the editors only work this way. So on your mobile, if they're using it from a mobile perspective, they would just flip it anyway. And so if you do it this way, they can't get it. It doesn't have the broad-based functionality that you're probably hoping for by doing that.
We're going to go back a little bit. Brett was asking with Thinkific, can I have different course or levels of my course for different people based on pricing?
Yes, you can.
Great. How important is your background if what is behind me is clean?
Well, it's nice to have it clean because you don't want it to distract. Okay. And so part of the challenge right now is we're all in our homes and we don't have any, we don't have a lot of options. So neutral background is better than neutral background is better than a busy background. I have some speaker colleagues who have literally hung up a black curtain behind them, like a black sheet, and just like stapled it to their ceiling or did some sort of jerry rigging to make it happen, pulled a MacGyver, and they just like hid everything behind them and are standing or like sitting in front of a black background. So you can make it as basic as possible. I'm starting to do a lot more videos. So I did some the other night sitting on my couch, still had the well-lit face, still had the good audio. The plain background, I don't love it as much as like just sort of seeing my home and this is who I am and this is where I live. And, you know, I changed out for a red lamp because it just sort of looked a little better, you know, whatever you got. But you don't want to make it like, you know, facing your fridge where you have like all of the different, you know, Post-it notes and appointments and things like that.
Yeah, you gave some really good feedback for everybody about how to position the camera, how to sit, you know, where it should be and background. And you even talked about makeup and lighting and all of that in the program as well. And that was very helpful for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, and that's the thing, because like I said on the radio the other day, we were talking about being on virtual meetings. And I said, if you're looking down, they're looking up. So what I mean by that is if your camera is like down there and we're seeing, so if I were to, actually here, I'll switch cameras for a second. So can you see me looking? So you see how weird that is now? Now I know I'm not lit, but do you see the difference on how easy it is to connect with me? Because you're going lower, and a lot of people have it even like, sorry, I'm not there, but like right like that. And that doesn't work. That does not good, right? Oops. Okay. And so I'm going to change that because that's not helpful for anybody. Okay.
Thanks for that. Now, here's something back onto content. What's the best way to gauge our audience for their problems that we're going to solve prior to developing content?
Okay, so just repeat that for me, please, again. Sorry.
What's the best way to figure out what the problems are of our audience that we should be solving prior to us actually starting to do the
Awesome. Okay, well, first things first, ask them. So find 5 people who you think would be either former clients or, people who you trust who would be the kind of people who you'd like to solve. And you could send them a quick call, like a note, and say, hey, can we hop on a really quick video? I'm looking at doing some courses. Could you share with me a little insight on how you're feeling and what would be really helpful for you?
Okay, Roger, your question, I meant ask via which method platform. Can you just elaborate a little bit more? Because I'm not exactly sure what you're meaning by that.
And actually, to finish his question, he did say something about the Instagram post. The truth is, yeah. So if you're doing an Instagram story, you need it to be up and down, but that's very different than building an online course. Instagram story is about promoting the course, and it's about engaging your audience who hasn't bought from you yet. When you're filming for the program, you want it to be in landscape because that is for the learning purposes is very different.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Post your questions. Any more questions? What a great audience. There's still a bunch of people on here.
I know.
What questions do you have for Allison? I've got to go for another meeting shortly.
Okay.
But if there's any last questions, post them now. Let's get them answered. Allison, you just always show up the same. You're so generous. You're so authentic and real. You don't hold anything back. You just give and give and give and give. And I'm so grateful to have met you and know you and have you as a friend and also as a mentor helping me, guide me in all of this. Today you've been so generous with everybody once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. And I hope to see all of you over inside the online program. And this is just the beginning. And if you want to be on the online, I don't think there is a better time, place, way to actually just get it done. So thank you all for being here. We will definitely meet again. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All the texts are going up. And I will see you on Friday at 11. Thanks, Janie. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Have a great day.
Bye. You're all typing still. I don't want to leave until you've all said, I don't want to miss any of your thoughtful comments. Okay. And keep an eye out for my emails. I'll send them to you. Bye. Thanks, everyone.